Hey everybody, it's your old pal Jason back again with some of his current sports ramblings about current situations in sports. And this rambling does have to go back to the WNBA right now. And y'all probably could guess what it is. It's the whole thing with Sophie Cunningham and her statement about transgenders being in women's sports and how they should be allowed in women's sports. So I'm going to have a very controversial opinion that will probably be ashamed and looked down upon. But again, like I said in previous videos, I'm 47 years old. People who know me and know my feelings and I'm being honest and it's being more respectful. And and there's not much stuff being put out there in that retrospect. So I am putting my opinion out there, and honestly, it is what it is. And I know how I will be seen as, and there's a part of me that don't care. So there's a part of me that don't care because it's my thoughts and my feelings. It's my channel, and again, if you don't like my thoughts, my things on my channel, no one says you have to watch my channel. But I did say that with my channel, I love sports cards, and I will talk about sports cards. I don't show my sports cards and stuff, but I also want to talk about current sports situations going on that are high impact and high media. So I feel like giving my opinion. I feel like I could give my opinion on this Sophie Cunningham and her statement. And I have watched and researched a little bit and everything about what was said and all that aspect. To put it out there right now, I have no issues with transgender people. Cool. The only thing I've ever had issue with that is pushing your ideals and the small aspect of the society, of that part of society, pushing your ideas onto kids who don't even who think boys and girls still got cooties, thinks they're still cooties. Pushing on kids, to children who are just learning themselves, who are getting to understand their bodies, who are understanding their thoughts, why, what makes a boy boy, what makes a girl girl, what is their role in life. That's where I have an issue, is where, if you're in your 30s and you feel that you're a girl and you were biologically male, if you're in your 30s and if you want to be a Caitlyn Jenner, you do you, boo. Honestly. But it should not be pressed upon small kids, influential. It shouldn't be pressed on young minds. The young minds should learn more about the world before they make a decision like that forever changes them. That's my opinion. So it is what it is. So I wanted to put that out there. Like, I believe a person is who they are, personality-wise. I believe girls could be tomboys. There's nothing wrong with being a girl and being a tomboy. There's nothing. I have no problem with the girls who like sports, girls who like doing boy stuff, fishing, hunting. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I have no problem with flamboyant guys. Guys like to sew. Guys like to, me personally, I can't work on cars. I suck mechanics just because I'm a guy. But I suck at mechanics. But I think I'm a pretty good artist. I think I can draw pretty good. I think if I put paint in front of me, I think I can do that. I think I have a good idea for designing and figuring out things like that. So, there's nothing wrong with a flamboyant boy. There's nothing wrong with a tomboy girl. Nothing. It's when you start interjecting at a young age, well, you're thinking like a boy, you must be a boy. You're thinking you're different just because you like to shoot guns. You're 8 years older, you like to shoot guns, and you're a female, so you must be a boy because you like to shoot guns and go hunting. Wrong. Scratch that. Or you feel different. You don't feel like a girl. Well, maybe introduce some feminine things in the girl's life. Like, embrace things that it's okay to be a tomboy. It's okay to be a girl and like boy stuff. That doesn't mean you have to change your whole gender. But I personally feel that a person, your personality, who you are as a person makes up your respect from me. Who you are as a person is where you're going to get my respect. Be it that you're trans, gay, whatever. Your personality, you as a person is more important to me than that. But again, I also don't believe pushing stuff like that on little kids because they don't know. They're still impressionable. So, going back to with the Sophie Cunningham, if you read her statement, if you listen to how she talks, if you understand what she is saying, she has nothing against transgenders. Nothing. And she even stated it in her statement. She has nothing against transgender people. She has nothing against gay people. She's got nothing against them. But women have fought so hard over decades and decades and decades and decades of getting equality from men. And they got it. The WNBA is women's basketball. Women's National Basketball Association. NBA is the men's. Why are biological men who think they are women, but who can't define what a woman is, should not be allowed in women's sports? Because you're biologically a man. Now, I know there are some deficiencies. Because some people are like, well, Jason, there's some genetic deficiencies to where, you got 2X and a Y, or you got an X and 2 Ys. And yes, you're right. There are 1 in a billion chances that there is genetic differences. You're absolutely right. Well, where those people, where should they go if they don't have a sport or they don't think? Okay, I can understand that, but when something is that is hard, and that is a hard decision on what to do. That is. But when you have someone who is biologically or was biologically a male and decided to be female, and it goes vice versa. It does go vice versa. It's just not men into women. It goes vice versa, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So it's not just men being transformed into women. It goes both ways. And that's what people tend to forget. It does go both ways. Biological men, or once was biological men, should not play female sports. Shouldn't. Because in the end, they're still male. Just because up here, they truly believe they're female, biologically, they're male. 100 years from now, if an archaeologist ever digs up their grave, women had different pelvic bones than males. It's biological. Women's structure is different than males. Muscle, bones, chromosomes. And for any doctor or any scientist, biological scientist, that states different, you need to get your degree checked. And again, there are those very rare mutations, and I'm not stating that there isn't, because there are things called hermaphrodites and other genetic problems. I'm not saying that there isn't. There is, but that's a 1 in a billion shot. Well, that's a 1 in a billion circumstance. So I stand with Sophie. Hate me, love me, whatever. I stand with Sophie. I agree with what she said. And I have no problems. And I will say this to the T. I have no problems with trans people, with the LGBTQRST community. I don't, because I have friends and family and all that fall into that category. And I love them dearly with all my heart. But there's got to be a thing. There's got to be a standard. There's got to be and women's basketball is for women. Men's basketball is men. If they want to create a third league, where it's co-ed, create it. And at that point, you know what you're getting into. Because you're joining a co-ed, a mixed gender league. Suggestion. I don't think it's sexist. I don't think it's racist. I don't think it's anything like that. It's just, it is what it is. Women over the years have fought so much for equality in a lot of aspects in life. And for a transgender male to come into a woman's sport and dominate that sport over women who are highly capable of doing great things in that sport, true women, true girls, is messed up. If you're biologically a male, you're a male. If you're biologically a female, biological female. Not Roy Rogers, Mr. Rogers. Boys are boys from the beginning. Girls are girls from the start. Kindergarten Cop. Boys have a, girls have a. It's inedible. It's science. It's biology. So those are my thoughts. I stand with Sophie Cunningham. And just before you say anything, read and understand what she said. Because there's no hate. There's no hate in any of it. No hate in any of her statement. She loves everybody. Respects everybody. And I do too. But there's got to be a line. All right. So this is your normal Jason rambling. I know I probably pissed people off. Again, I'm in my late 40s. You're gonna like me or you're gonna hate me. It is what it is. I love you, family. I love you, friends. Peace out.